Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. We have an old schooler to talk to today. It is Ryno from Season 7 Pearl Islands. What's up, Ryno?
What's up, man? How you been?
All right, man. How have you been reacting to these seasons, man? I mean, you're
Well,
season 7. Season 7. That's back
Yeah.
in the day when it was a humongous deal. Like I can remember,
Well,
just. I want to tell you real quick when I played, my first time played was season 19, and I can remember them telling me because I didn't know anything about anything, and Rupert was talking, which he was on your season. Sandra
yeah.
was talking, she was on that season as well, and I was saying, so how is it when you get out of here? You know, what's it like when we go home? Because I was curious if we were going to be
Yeah.
superstars or what was going to happen. And I remember specifically Sandra saying, "It's not like it used to be. It ain't even close to like it used to be." They said you'll be famous for about a week, and then that'll be about it. I remember telling her back, "Well, I'm not so sure about me, but yeah, maybe you."
Maybe you guys, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe you guys. No, I'm. What's it? 30. What are we on? 35 seasons. They
yeah,
just started
35.
filming. So yeah, it's been a long, long time, and it's almost like I've gotten to the point where I wish they put a nail in the coffin and kind of end it.
Right.
It keeps going. There's a huge fan base. Everybody loves the show. I mean, there were some die hard people to watch, like season 1 through 10, and then say in the middle it kind of slowed down a little bit, and then the newer seasons, people actually tell me, "Well, I didn't watch your season because I just started watching on season 30," and I'm going, "What? How do you jump in that far? It's like watching Seinfeld at the end of Seinfeld.
Right.
How are you gonna get what's going on? You know what I mean?"
Right.
So it's interesting. You have a different dynamic of people, and the game's totally different. Survivor used to be more of a physical survival show where people actually expected to get beat up physically out there, and it seems like it's become a reality TV drama.
Right.
And it's not the best players going back. It's not the best casting, but it's decent casting where everybody matches up with. It's almost like they just cast a bunch of people together just so it can be a TV show and just throw it out there and all right, everybody loves Survivor.
Right.
This is what we got.
You know when I think it
Don't get
stopped?
me wrong.
What I think it all
Right.
stopped because when they brought people back, All Stars was a good cast when they brought them back. Heroes and Villains was a good cast. After Heroes and Villains, they just started bringing back scrubs. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't understand fans versus favorites.
Well, that was
was
that was okay. Yeah, that was.
It was okay, but yeah, I'm the game changers thing. I was questioning a little bit. I didn't really understand how Caleb could be a game changer. He didn't. I mean, he got medevac. I mean, I guess if you get medevac, you're a game changer.
Well, if you do a medevac,
I mean, is that?
well, what you have to do, and I've been saying it over and over, man. If he was the first to ever get medevaced, then maybe they can have that argument. I would like to personally sit there with Jeff, and I've been talking about this on, and we're going to move on from it because I'm sure everybody's tired about hearing or take on game changers. But if I could sit there with Jeff, I would like to ask him personally, okay, why was Caleb there? Why was Brad there? Why was Sarah there? Why, I can go on, and I would really like to hear what he had to say. Because you have to have an argument for everything. Like, for instance, now they have Big Brother, and they brought Paul back into the house. Well, it makes no sense because now when they brought some people back when my brother played, and they called them coaches. Well, they made it make sense. When me and Rob went back, it was like Russell versus Rob type thing. They made it make sense. But nowadays, they just throwing people in different shows, and it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I think that a lot of it where you got screwed on season 22 where they brought Rob back just to set an example and to give Rob his money because they think that he earned that money in All-Stars and it was given to Amber.
Right.
So CBS manipulated the situation and probably just decided to go, hey, let's get these people out here that like Rob. We'll put them on that tribe. Maybe we'll get these people that don't like Russell. Not that many people do. He's the ultimate villain.
Right.
So we'll put him, and then you get out early, and Rob goes on to win because the people he was playing with, they were fascinated with him.
Right.
Well, when you go to play Survivor, if you're going to be an all-star and you're going to go and play a Survivor game, I'm not going to look up to you. You're not going to look up to me. I'm not going to be like, oh, Rupert, hey, come on. You go out there to kick ass and win.
Right.
The game is to win the game. And I think a lot of people were like, with this Paul thing, they give him safety for 4 weeks, right?
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, how is that even fair? Like, just hand the kid the check because you're going to give it to him anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way, he's going to get his money if he has to come back on it. Which
well, he just did Candy Crush too. That show Candy Crush, in which I can't say much about it because I just don't want to, only because I respect the people that I talk to. But I did get a call to go on Candy Crush, and it just didn't work out. It just wasn't. It just didn't seem like it was the right thing, you know. But yeah, he just did Candy Crush, so they giving him money there too.
And I think that he was great on Big Brother 18, and you know he dodged bullets and he did. But put the guy on an all-star season. Don't put him by himself and then cater to him so he can get towards the end of the game and do that. Just let these other people, which the cast is great. I like all these people.
Oh, I do too.
This dude, Cody, Cody's crazy. You got such a great group of people. Why throw Paul into the mix and then just kind of screw it up, kind of fuck up the game for these other people? Because it's not fair.
It's not.
And I say that all the time about this, that, and the other thing about production, and even in my case, and I know people go, oh, Ryno, you talk about that all the time. The Outcast Challenge. You bring people back in the game that have already been voted out of the game, and it's the theme for Survivor is fire is your life. So once that's out, Jeff says it. I never said it. This is your motto,
right?
Mantra, whatever.
Right.
And this is your thing. And then you vote somebody out, and then they come back in the game and vote me out. And
do you think
keep asking me like?
Do you think if that wouldn't have happened, you would have had a better shot to go to the end, or you would have went to the end? I know I would have went to the end because the Drakes like Sandra and Rupert and Sean Sean wouldn't have been there, but Jonny and I would have became buddies. And man, y'all had a pretty damn good cast. I ain't gonna lie, y'all had a really good cast.
Yeah, no, we had a great cast, and there was one point, and I got to tell everybody this because there was one point I can't remember what the challenge was. That we were on the beach, and it was the first time we were ever going to have mutiny because the Pearl Islands was a pirate theme.
Mm-hmm.
So we're standing there on the beach. We're getting our tribe was terrible. I was the only one that could swim besides a couple others, and the other tribe was just smoking us. So we're like 0-7. Anyways, we're standing there on the beach, and Jeff goes, hey, if anybody wants to go to the other tribe, you can right now.
Whoa.
And we look over, and I look at Sean, my buddy Sean, and this girl Michelle, and I go, me and Austin, come on over. They never did. But could you imagine the dynamic and how it would change the show completely?
Oh, yeah.
Because if Sean and Michelle had come over, we would have swept the other team, and then we could have fought it out by ourselves. But it never happened. There's there's other stuff that happens in the game that you don't get to see, or people watching. You and I experience what is it? Every 72 hours we're filming, you get it crunched down to 40 minutes of airtime, so the fans don't get. They're like, "Oh, Ryno, you were such a nice guy on the show, but you had like no personality." I'm like, yeah. The problem with that is editing,
right?
So, but I love my experience. I doubt I'll ever be back. People ask like, "Well, Ryno, what do you think you could have done differently?" I didn't do anything wrong. I was a victim of a production thing, a circumstance, and I couldn't really do anything else. And I worked Rupert, and I worked Sandra, and I worked Fairplay. I was trying to get Fairplay to take me and the girls that were left and take out Rupert and Sandra and Krista. But the thing is, if you're settled and you're in a position where you think you're in a better position than you are, then you can just cut stragglers. But you really have to think about your end game, and Fairplay never did.
Right.
He thought it would be fine for him to take Burton and him with 3 girls. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but if you got 3 women, they will. I mean, these dudes just let it happen. I'm going, Johnny, how would you let? I mean, even up to, just think about that stuff when you're playing the game. A lot of people don't do that.
Right.
I think they get a little confused, and even with this thing with Paul, would they get these not medallions?
Man, they got all kind of stuff. He got friendship braces. He got.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
friendship braces.
He got safety for 3 weeks. I mean, he is. They are, like you said, they just might as well write him a check right now. But
well, if you and I were the dudes that were in there, say we got thrown in, like you were in there and Paul was in there, and it's 17 people. Think about it. So they go, hey, Paul, you have 8 friendship bracelets to give out. Right. So that means there's 9 people against 8 people, right?
Right.
So automatically you're set up. You already got these people protecting you. You know? So
yeah.
It's crazy. People don't think about that stuff, though.
Man, what I think they need to do.
They try not to.
Yeah, they need to do a real second chance season to where the real passion. They know who they are. The real passionate people that really, really want to play again. People like you, people like Boo. I don't know if you've seen his season in Fiji. Yeah. I mean, I mean, when you talk to him, he's like talking to you. Like, he's so passionate about what's going on. They can't stop talking about the season, their season, and it's like it's something that's it's embedded in them to where they need to do a second chance season with people like that, like people that just. Yeah. That just will do whatever it takes to win that game,
Well, I love the second chance idea, and I love Boo. He should be back. I mean, he blew his ACL out, didn't complain. What'd they do? Tape it up, and he kept after it. Yep. Like he's just all very casually. I tore my ACL,
right?
And I had my MCL, my LCL were torn when I did Survivor from motocross racing, and I didn't say anything. But when I see these kids, they're like, oh, by the way, my this and that, and oh, I've got a little sniffle. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And that's the difference between the new school versus the old school. I had a
pimple on my back.
Yeah. I have this slight infection. I think I need to go home. Or they just quit, and you get a lot of fans that want to do it. And I want more fans that are fired up to play the game and get into the game. And I'm hoping this new season, what is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
The difference between season 7 and season 34, what would you say? Like, that is one difference. It seems like, and it's like that in life too. It seems like a bunch of babies is starting to be casted, a bunch of snowflakes, and it seems like that's what's happening even in real life. Like, they were back in the day at Survivor, and I'm not even saying season 19 when I played was tough as it was when they played season 7. But back in your day was when they were really calling it Survivor, when it was a real game called Survivor to where you had to survive and play the game. Now it's like, man, they giving them all kind of rice and beans, and they do this and that for them, and they babying them, and you see little Band-Aids on them with, like SpongeBob SquarePants on the Band-Aid thing, and it's like, like they're babying them.
Well, yeah, we jumped off the ship with the clothes that we had on our back, and it seemed like everyone's getting board shorts. I was in boxers for 24 days, and they were so blown out that I had Lil, the Boy Scout troop lady. She helped me out. She put a bobby pin because my pants are coming off, my boxers are coming off, everything's coming off me. Like, my belt was so tight that I had to poke holes in it.
Right.
So there was
too.
one day that Jeff looked at us, and he looked straight at us, and he goes, Ryno. He's like, what's going on with you guys? And then Andrew goes, we haven't eaten in 3 days. And when I watched it back on TV, I was like, damn, I'm skinny. Cause I'm not a small guy, but I was like, I am tiny. I was 164 pounds when I left the game. I'm like 225 right now.
Right.
I was a stick figure, and it was brutal. I mean, not one part of my body didn't have a mosquito bite or a no-see-um or, some kind of gash in my foot.
Right.
My feet, the bottom of my feet were ruined from all the lava rock and
it's
stuff
crazy
like that.
to me how when I played, just like you just saying it's brutal, when I played season 19, it was the worst experience of my entire life. It was like you said, it was brutal. It was not fun. Like when I see these kids saying, "Oh, I had the best time ever when I was out there," I'm like, "What? Like, what are you talking about? It was miserable. I lost 60 pounds. Like, how is it the best time of your life?" That's because now they get off these islands and they say, she lost 12 pounds and he lost 17 pounds. I'm like, really? Well, what are they eating? They eating everything. They getting rice and beans and gravy and catching fish, and they walk on the camp and they got their fishing gear already there, or some building equipment's already there, or like, man, it's just changed.
Well, even like in our season, they had I don't know if you watched it recently, but they had a looting based on the pirate theme. So at a reward
I seen it. Yeah, I seen it.
Oh, okay. So
right.
Drake wins the challenge. Have they done that recently? I can't remember if they have.
I've never seen it since then. And I thought that was a good thing though. When he went over to the camp and he got to pick whatever he wanted from their camp, and they was like, I hope you don't get this.
Oh no, I was like trying to hide stuff, and Sandra looked right at the tarp that I had covering the shelter that I built, and I was like, please don't take that tarp. I didn't say that out loud, but she looked right at it, looked right at me, and she's like, I want that tarp. And I go, well, you're going to have to take it down then. Because I had that thing knotted up.
Yeah.
She just took a knife and cut that thing off.
Damn.
And I was like, oh,
now, talking about Sandra a little bit, I played with Sandra, you played with Sandra. We have some listeners that huge Sandra fans. Now, they think that she's such a strategic player, or such a, she's got a well-rounded game, some people say. Now, when my experience with Sandra, I'll go ahead and tell you my experience first. She was absolutely horrendous. She was terrible in challenges. Her strategic plan was to get rid of me, never worked, and her social game was bitchy, like she likes to say. So nothing was good about her game. The reason I brought her to the end was because her game was so bad, I thought that it would be against me in Poverty. Because her game was so bad, that's why I brought her to the end, because I was there. I seen it. You might have seen the clips. The viewers that's listening, the listeners, they seen the clips. So that's all they see is editing stuff. But in real, I played with her, and she played horribly. Now, that's my opinion of my experience with her. Tell me yours.
I love Sandra to death, and she's a close friend.
Okay.
But when we played together, Sandra sat out most any time she could in the challenges, which is fine, but it's outwit, outlast, outplay. And when we got down to the end of the game, it was either between her and this lady Lil, who'd been voted out, and she was out for, 9 or 10 days out of the game. She got voted out on day 9. I believe she was back day 18.
Right.
So she got a vacation.
Right.
So the Outcast people got to kick back, and then they came back on day 18.
Damn.
So
do you know if they ate anything? Do you know if they got to eat or they got to do anything like that?
I'm not sure, but I heard rumors that they ate very minimal, but they were staying in lodge style. They weren't out in the elements. That's for sure.
Okay.
They didn't have to have a fire. They had bedding and stuff I believe, and they practiced challenges. I don't know if they practiced our challenge, but
wow.
Yeah, they were able to practice challenges.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
But I'll tell you what, Sandra was really smart when it came to manipulation, and that's her game thing. She was a lot better on game changers than she was on Heroes
Right.
and Villains.
No,
and
she was a lot
on
better.
Pearl
Hey,
Island.
I agree, man. I think she was playing the game on game. That's the funny thing. Her best game, in my opinion, was Game Changers, and she went out before the merge.
Yeah, she was killing it, and they knew
She was.
that they had to get rid of her. She was doing phenomenal. But back to Pearl Islands, when everything was going down, I was like, we're going to let somebody that's not a physical competitor, not a well-rounded, strategic, physical, somebody going to get to the end that she would sit there and be all, as long as it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
She would vote anyway as long as it's not me. And that is a strategy. I mean,
Well,
now
she should have went back to that strategy in Game Changers.
Yeah, as long as it's not me. Yeah.
Right.
So at the end of the game, Johnny he could have won the game, but he ended up. It's final three. So it's Lil, Johnny, and Sandra, and they were on these platforms out in the water. Well, Johnny fell over, Sandra fell over, Lil wins, she takes Sandra, and every one of us in the jury, we were like, there's no way we're going to vote for somebody to win $1 million if they're only in the game 29 days or whatever.
Right.
Or 30 days. So basically, that's how Sandra won by default. And
so Johnny would have won?
John would have won. Yeah, a lot of people think he wouldn't have. I would have voted for John against Lil. Absolutely.
That's Jonny Fairplay.
Yeah, Jonny Fairplay. So, and Fairplay had a very well-rounded game. I mean, the grandmother lie kept him in there further.
Mm-hmm.
People felt bad for him. He was able to manipulate and pick people off. I think his only fault is not keeping me around because he had, like I said, at the final five, it was him and Burton, Lil, Sandra, and Dara.
Yeah.
So what do you think the girls are going to do? The girls are going to team up, and that's it.
So the grandmother lie, were you in the game at that point?
No, I was voted out beforehand.
Okay, because that was happened to be one of the biggest plays in the history of the game. I think it's an amazing play. You get sympathy from people immediately, and it keeps you in the game longer. And that's the ultimate. That's what you're trying to do there. When did all that come out? Like when he went to Ponderosa. Did you hear?
Oh, he told me straight away. As soon as he got voted out, he goes, "Hey, come over here," and he grabbed me and Burton. We went into the loser lodge, the little cabins they got there, and he goes, "Hey, I got to tell you this," and I didn't know what he was talking about. And Burton was like, "You motherfucker!" He was so pissed.
He just straight up said,
I go, "What?
My grandma didn't die."
Yeah. No, he told him, and he so it's me and Johnny's like, "Don't tell anybody," and I was like, "No, I'm not going to say nothing." But Burton was so upset. It was funny as hell. I was like, "Damn, dude! Like that's hardcore Survivor strategy." And this is what I tell people. Like when I get these people that are like, "Oh, well, what do you think about so and so's game? Whatever." Your game, and you know this, Russell. Your game starts now. You're watching these players now.
Yes, of course.
You play them again. You know how.
I have a little notebook, dude. I literally have a little notebook that I write down when I see pictures and buddies and my bro love type stuff.
Yep.
I jot those little names down. I take a little picture of it with my phone and I put the dates and I put everything to where I know who's friends with who. You got to do that. You're right. It's a game now.
And people, I think a lot of fans are like, "Oh, well, this person didn't play this." It's a job for $1 million, and you better study because you got to study how people play because they're going to. I don't care what somebody says. They could be like, "Oh, Russell's going to come back as the good guy. Ryan comes back as a villain." You're going to revert back to how your game was initially. Right. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. From the first time they played, they'll filter back to it.
Right.
And I think with, what's her name, Sarah, where was she out? 5th? So nobody saw her game. So nobody saw how Sarah, the police officer, that won the last one, the game changer.
Right.
What was she? She was out, 5th? Something like that?
She was out early her first time, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, how are you going to know how somebody plays if you've never seen their gameplay?
Right.
And, it makes it more difficult. Well, if you see somebody that you're like, why is this person on Game Changers? They're out day 3. Well, you better think about those people and get rid of them, because something's going on, or they're going to get an advantage, or they're going to get, you know what I mean? You got to pay attention to those little clues why people bring certain survivors back.
Yeah.
Because like Jeff will say, oh, well, this person could have made it this far. And he knows because the game, like, what did Sierra have, a legacy advantage? I mean, she did pretty well on her season, but you wouldn't think anything of it. You wouldn't think to watch out for her.
No, you wouldn't.
It's just the way it is. The other people like Culpepper, you got to watch out for him. He was a badass on his season.
Right.
So it's like you never underestimate anybody that comes back on another season, ever. You just can't do it.
Yeah, because what happens is, let's say they did a legend season and I was back out there. What happens is people would gun for me right off the bat. So while they're gunning for me and gunning for Rob and gunning for Parvati and gunning for Richard Hatch, while they're doing all that, those same group of people that you're saying, why are they legends? They're sitting back just climbing up that ladder.
Yep. Yeah, and people don't, and this coming from Evil Dick a while ago, these people on Big Brother, they play wide open right off the start. People watch the show over and over again. He goes, let it filter out 5 to 7 weeks. Let things shake down and get a feeling for it. And it's the same with Survivor. You got to let things filter out, and you watch people the way they, like Tony. What was he doing on Game Changers? Like wide open right off the bat. Let things.
Right.
You know you're a target. Let things filter out, man. Just relax. I know you're excited to be back on the show.
Dude, if I think that even if I relax, I'm going to be a target, but still, I'm going to do exactly that. If I played again, I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to let everybody else argue. Hopefully, that's what they do, and I'm just going to let it play out. If I go home early, then I go home early because they're scared of me. I'm not going to go home because I'm going to do something crazy like Tony and take off running as soon as I get on the beach.
Yeah, it was, and I asked him about that. And he was like, oh, you didn't like it? And I was like, you just got to, I know you won the show before and there's a big bullseye, but let Sandra be the bullseye. Just relax and do your thing. Don't act all crazy. If you want to win again, you don't do that kind of stuff. And I guess he was a little more than pissed that he was out that early, but that's his own fault. You can't go running around. And for me, Pearl Island's never had any idols. We didn't have anything to save you. God, if I had one idol, I would have made it to the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
what he did, what Tony did was he eliminated himself for any discussion of All-Star or Game Changers. I mean, or I'm sorry, it was just on Game Changers or Legends.
Yeah.
He eliminated his name and discussion of any type of legend because people are saying, how the hell did he even win, going out there playing like that? But that's what he did.
Yeah.
So did JT.
Yeah, and
people like JT, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
He's only getting worse. Every time he plays, he gets worse.
Yeah. CBS likes JT. He's a great kid. I like him. I barely watched Tocantins, but he won that, and, that's fantastic. And, he's been on a couple of times. I don't know. He's middle of the road for me, but, Sandra's gameplay was phenomenal on Game Changers.
Yeah, she was doing a great job. You see what happens when Sandra plays? When Sandra actually plays, she goes early.
Yeah. She's on a winter season, she'd be dangerous. She'd be really dangerous because then there's
not if she played like that.
A target.
Not if she played balls to the wall.
No, she would get out early. Yeah, Sandra played phenomenally. And she told me, she's all, this is my thing. This is my job. This is what I do good. I'm like, hey, I can't fault you. You won twice. I lasted 24 days,
right. I think what happened was she got a little ahead of herself, and it showed. She started calling herself queen. She never did that. She on a regular basis. And I said this I forgot what podcast it was, but I was talking about how me, Parvati, and Sandra was in a limo, and those two started arguing about who was queen. And I was like, listen, I'm the king. Everybody knows it. There's no disputing that. And Parvati, you're the queen. I said, Parvati, you're the queen. And she's like, I won twice. I'm the queen. I'm the queen. So it was in her head that she needed to be queen, so she just kept saying vocally saying, I'm the queen, I'm the queen, I'm the queen. So the way she played that game was way too aggressive for her. If she plays like that, and Sandra, if you're listening, anytime you play like that, you're gone. You need to do what you do best, and that's shut up and vote the way people tell you to vote.
And she makes it to the end every time.
Right.
She knows how to do it. Sandra.
Did you talk to her about that gameplay? Did you talk to her? Did you ever ask her why did you do that?
No, I didn't. She just thought that she needed to play a little bit differently and a little bit more wide open. And I said that's the best I've ever seen you play. But she needs to work for the CIA, because that girl, she knows how to get in people's heads. That's for sure. I mean, look at JT. He's blaming Michaela for eating all the sugar, and Sandra ate it all. I was laughing. Right. I was like, damn. But I mean, everybody's got their thing. But I wanted to say something real quick. I would love to see another second chance season. And fans want to see new recruits and all that stuff. But now there's how many are there, Russell? 500?
Oh, there's more than that.
500
now.
of us.
I think there's more than that now.
So there's more than that. You could go back to Thailand. You could go back to season 5, or it doesn't even matter. You could go back to season 10, 11. You could get a cast together, and people would be like, "Who is that?"
Right.
Man, these are great newbies. They wouldn't even know.
I think they need to do some. I think they need to do some type of schoolyard pick, but you have 2 or 3 players from every single season, and and you have them in LA. You put them on the beach in LA, and then you draw. Every single one of them draws a rock. Every single one of them, and there's only 2 rocks in there, and those 2 became the team captain. Or let the public vote on who's going to be the team captains. The two popular players to ever play the game. 2 of the most popular to ever play. You're in LA, you line them up, 50, 60 people, 2 team captains. Yeah. And then each person that you pick, they come to your team, the other person picks theirs. Well, and then after that, the person that you picked, they choose next, so it makes it fair. It doesn't make the captain's not choosing all the players, and then after they choose, then the person that they picked, they choose the next player. So you have a ton of different people out there on the island. In LA on the beach, and after that, you load up them 20 people and you fly to Fiji or wherever you're going. Yeah. Just think about the preview. Just think about the premiere to something like that. Because the premiere could be live. Yeah. Premiere could be live in L.A. or it can't be live because they have to tape the show and all. But they can, you can go out there and it can be a big deal. Premiere, we have 50 people. Watch it happen. Watch who picks who. Maybe it can be live. Maybe you can do a live premiere way earlier, and then those people play the game later. That way, there's no spoilers. Like everybody knows when it happens. Yeah. No, I agree. They gotta do something. I'm tired of all the twists. There's too many things going on. Yeah, now they have heroes versus what? Heroes versus hustlers versus healers. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I'd love to have a show more like the Australian Survivor. Have you watched that? Have you had a chance to watch
I haven't. I've watched a few clips. I had a few people on the show that were going to air later on. But, I talked to people about it, but I haven't watched it.
Absolutely a fantastic season.
Really?
55 days. Yeah, 55 days, 24 people, and $500,000. And I'm like, that's just hardcore. Not only that, there's more character development because it's a longer episode. It's not like, all right, reward challenge, talk a little bit of camp, bam, tribal council, or another immunity challenge, tribal council. There's not enough character development anymore for our seasons because, well, back when we did it, the 16 people. How many of you guys have? 19? Something like that?
19, yeah.
It was 19. We had 16. When it gets to be so many people, you don't really get to really like the person or you're like, oh, this person could have done this or whatever. Well, with the Australian one, if people watch it, it's phenomenal. It's on Daily Motion if people want to check it out. But the Australian Survivor, there's character development, and these people are ruthless because they've been watching Survivors for 16 years, and they finally got a chance to play the game that they loved, and everybody had game. I was like, damn.
Right.
I even said, I was like, this is as good as Pearl Islands.
Wow.
It was
yeah, man.
Good.
They need to. They keep bringing back these. And I agree that the game has evolved. Jeff will tell you we have to do this because the game's evolved. Well, then do something extremely fun and interesting, like the schoolyard pick, or another one that I thought would be good. And think about this for a second. Season 7, if it was Part 2, like every championship fight, the second round was always the best. Just think if they brought exactly the same cast back, how it would turn out.
I told Jeff that a long time ago. I go, Pearl Islands Part 2, and he goes, are you kidding me? I'm like, hey man, it'd be cool. He's like, I don't know if I could get all you guys. I mean, same challenges, the outcast thing, but then you'd be pre-planning for the outcast thing. So how do you play your game?
Things would be different.
So you're going to get voted out, but you'd be able to get back into the game. It'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
Players,
any season like that, Part 2, any season would be crazy amazing. And then they got all these smart people, man. We're just little old peons. They got these smart people in L.A. I know you're in L.A., but these producers and stuff that think, oh, let's do a heroes versus hustlers versus healers. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. It's like, no, why don't you do what the fans keep? You can go on these sites, these fan sites, like Survivor Fan Jury. You can go on sites like that and post what kind of season would you like to see? And they got some brilliant fans out there that would.
Oh no, they're real smart.
That's like, how about this?
Yeah, Survivor Fan Jury, they're great. I mean, they come up with some fantastic stuff. But I think that being that SEG, Survivor Entertainment Group, I think they're just comfortable, doing their thing. And I think the heroes, the healers, and the hustlers is basically the same as the white collar, blue collar, no collar style, or Democrats, Republicans, Independents, basically without saying it, right?
Right, lefties, righties. You could do lefties, righties, and nunsies.
Yeah. That'd be funny, man.
Like, dude, if you got like real left wingers and real right wingers, and you put them on an island, holy shit! I'm talking about the ones that are flaming left and flaming right. Like the very aggressive flaming rights and the very, I seen something, man, it made me sick to my stomach. Like they were talking about, like, this is completely off Survivor subject, but it's definitely on the lefty subject. They said it was some article, I don't know if it was true or not, but they want to give rights to pedophiles, saying, oh, they have rights too. It's their decision. It's their decision to be with a child. They should, get their decision. Get what you want. Do whatever you want nowadays. It's like, what?
What?
Yes, I seen an article on that, man. I sure hope it was a fake-ass article because...
Yeah, it had to be fake. There's no way.
Oh, man, them left-wingers, man. Them right-wingers are hang them people up by their nuts from a tree in their backyard. The left-wingers, they go ahead and say, yeah, go do what you want to do. If you want to be an elephant, be an elephant. If you want to be a giraffe, just be a giraffe. Hey, man, if I ever get convicted for murder or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and say I want to be a woman. So, then I could get... You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I get life in prison...
I get you.
Right.
I get you.
Right.
Fucking crazy, man. But I doubt anybody's going to be like, oh, it's a problem, a disease, and we can fix the pedophilia, and there should. I don't know what people would say that. It's
I don't
pretty
know, man. That's
asinine,
just
but
it's stupid. But yeah, that would be
anyway.
a fun season. Left versus right.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff would be like, "Here's the immunity challenge. Don't talk about politics. Just stand there."
Oh shit!
And everyone would be. Nobody would
there.
get immunity. He'd
Right.
be all, okay, go.
Dude, that would be
go,
an
yeah.
excellent. That would actually, now that I think about it more and more, that would be a crazy good season. Because you got way leftists and way righters, that they would clash on an island. They got people out there.
Yeah, but
that,
in the long run, we're all friends. No matter what happens, at the end, you're gonna have these people.
I don't believe that in that in that type of season. I don't think it would roll like that, man. I think they would hate each other.
You need to let Jeff know to make that happen.
Well, Jeff might be listening to the podcast now. We're gonna try to get him on the show.
Yeah.
Why won't he come on my show, man? I mean, let's talk about the season. You know
why?
You know why he won't? Because I'll say, Jeff, how come Sarah was on Game Changers? How come Caleb was on Game Changers? And I like Caleb, and I thought he should have played again. Because he's a popular guy.
He's a really, really, really nice kid.
A really nice guy.
I met him. Real polite, real cool. Yeah, it's just, there's been a lot of people where I've been like, wait, why is that person back? Right. I never questioned that when I saw Heroes and Villains and when I saw
if
All
you did, you question a couple of them. It's like, because when I was out there, they would say, why is Danielle a villain? Why is she even back? It wasn't like the whole cast, Why is this person, this person, this person? You only had a handful of people that you maybe could say were actual game changers, that you could actually have that argument about.
Well, I think, and some people, when they get called, they can't take time off work or, it's something. But there's 500 people that you could go back that are actual game changers that you forget about seasons a long time ago, or even in the middle. There's like middle of the road, like what 10 to 20 something. You can find people, and just some of the picks I don't get, but I'm not. I don't do casting. I'm not making any money, and I'm not. I can't judge them because I watch them every time.
Yeah,
I'll try and watch every season.
I wanted to talk a little bit about how it was when you got off of season 7. Like the production side of things. When you got back home, because when we get back home from 19, they really don't mess with you until the live show. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. You went to the live show, you did that, and then that was it. They were done with you from there on out. How was it that early in Survivor? Like, what shows did you do? What happened as soon as y'all got back home? Did they stay in contact with you constantly? Like, how was it?
Yeah, more so than I think the newer seasons. Lynn would call me and ask how I was, and the doctors and stuff like that. Probst called me a couple of times just to ask, how I was and tell me what to wear for the finale and stuff like that. Right. But it wasn't very, very involved. But when I got voted out, it was around November, I believe. So our season aired in September, and I got voted out in November. So I actually did David Letterman, which was fantastic. He's great.
Right.
God, I did a lot. I mean, I did a ton of press stuff, which I was kind of shocked by. I mean, I do radio stuff. I did so many interviews. They had a list of 70 different interviews that we had to do.
Damn.
And back then, shit. I mean, there's people taking pictures of me, and I was confused. I'm like, I'm some regular ass blue collar electrician from Northern California that likes riding dirt bikes and chasing women, and everyone's taking photos of me. Why are they doing that? So it was a little, it was a little weird, a little unnerving at first. Even in my small town, I go out and they're like, "Oh, so how'd you do?" Every week. "Oh, so how was it? So what happened this week? And so do you like so and so? And how is it? Are you eating spiders?" It was always, "Are you eating spiders? Was it hard? And did you enjoy it?"
Right.
That was like the 3 most questions that I got. But as far as the production being involved, they were a little bit. I get phone calls from my buddies and stuff like that, which I still keep in contact with, or PAs or whatever. It was a fun experience for me. I know yours was a little different. I was starving, and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. And I've raced dirt bikes all over the country.
Right.
But I loved it. I loved it. I loved it so much. I don't know if you know this. Buying property down in Panama right now. It's been like a year. I've been waiting for this one piece of property. They move kind of slow, but I'm going to be about 100 miles west of where I played Survivor.
Wow.
So I'm going to build a yoga retreat, bar, restaurant, that kind of setup. It's about 2.5 acres right on the beach. So I'll have paddle boarding. Everybody can come hang out. So once that's up and running, I'll let you know.
Hell yeah.
Come down. I want to get everybody, like a group of the good people together, that everybody can get along and not fight when they're drinking.
Right.
Get that group of people down there, and stay at my place and everybody just chill out and for a week or so and drink and just talk about the experience. That's what a lot of Survivor people don't do. We don't sit there and probably the best healing process for everybody is to talk and bullshit with people from other seasons or your own season, and just because you got to download it or what's it called, Russell? What's the word I'm thinking of? You digest it, but then you got to get rid of it.
Right.
You
got to talk about it.
To talk to people. Yeah. So, my friends give me crap. They're like, "Oh, Survivor was 14 years ago," but you still have to talk about it because it's a gnarly experience.
Big part of your life. So that when we played, I heard rumors that Jeff Probst used to go to Ponderosa. Like we never seen Jeff at Ponderosa, but once when there was a situation in Redemption Island with Rob. But other than that, man, I didn't see him ever at Ponderosa. Did he used to hang out with you guys?
Oh yeah, he would. When he had time off and stuff, it'd be like the impromptu, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And it was cool. Jeff, I love bullshitting with Jeff. Jeff's a cool dude, and we just sit there and talk. And how are you feeling? Because when you do the experience, and because I'm a super fan of the show. Because I watched from the beginning and I applied to 2 all the way up to 7, season 2, Australia all the way up to 7, and I basically needed that time to be like, look at him and go, thank you, I appreciate it. And we drank, and even Mark Burnett, I was drinking margaritas with Burnett, and he goes, man, I wanted you to do so much better, and I'm like, you can always bring me back. And this is before anybody had ever been back. Well, except for Lil and Burton are the first people that were ever to come back onto the show.
Right.
So then it was before All Stars, and we're having margaritas and just bullshitting with him. Nicest guy in the world, and actually I think it was Tawana's birthday that Jeff showed up and hung out and drank, and he's just a good dude. Back then it was just different.
Right.
It was new and fun, and now it seems like it's more of a reality TV show.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't do that no more. But anyway, man, that was real fun, man. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Cool. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
When Survivor starts again, man, I'm gonna have you back on to talk about the cast, the upcoming players. And shoot, man, never know. They might, some of our ideas right now, you never know. We might see it. See it.
I'd like to see that. Yeah, definitely have me back on. It's been fun.
Yeah, because I'd like to see you back on the show. Seriously, man.
Yeah,
I like to hear passion. I like to hear the passion in people's voice that really want to play again, and I hear it in yours.
Yeah, no, I do. I'd love to do it. I doubt it'll happen, but I'd love to do it.
You never know, man. You never know. We could be out there together. You never know. We're getting rid of Sandra first, though.
God, if we were in alliance, I'd just go, all right, final 3. Who else are we picking?
Sandra's not one of them.
calling it right now. This is like when Hatch went out there and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna write my check. I'm writing my check right now."
Yeah, okay. All right, man. Well, it was nice having you on the show, and we'll catch up later.
All right, man.
All right,
Talk to you
Ryno,
soon.
you have a good one, brother.
Bye.